Hi everybody and welcome to the 2020 Sage Goddess Lionsgate ceremony. This is an activation of the energies that have already been flowing and pulsing through our system since July 26th, which is when what we call the Lionsgate opens. I've been celebrating this really auspicious occasion with you for several years now. Everybody looks forward to it, so I continue to offer this free ceremony for you. If you have the tools, I'm going to show you what we're working with tonight. If you don't have the tools, what I'm going to recommend is I'll share with you some of the notes that are in the perfume. If you have those oils, you can gather those. If you have any, certainly if you have your necklace that I made for you this year, this is the sterling silver Sirius pendant with the carnelian stone. You should be wearing that if you have it. And then if you have any carnelian in your collection, any vanadinite, those are two powerhouse stones. They're part of the grid that we're working with this evening. So those would be good crystals for you to go and gather as we prepare to enter into this space together. I want to take a couple of minutes just to teach you about the Lionsgate. And it's called the Lionsgate, by the way, because this alignment between the star Sirius, which is known as the spiritual sun, the star Sirius is the star that led the wise men to find the Christ child in biblical history. And it literally is a source of Christ consciousness. That's what the Sirius star represents. And so it's been guiding us, illuminating the path for thousands of years. What's interesting about this particular time each year is that when the star Sirius rises in the sky, she's at her most potent, her brightest light on August 8th. So she begins that journey of the illumination starting July 26th. On August 8th, she's at her biggest and fullest and brightest. And then she begins her descent. And so the Lionsgate, this stargate closes on August 12th. And that's when you'll begin to feel some of these energies dissipate. Now, for fire signs, this is a party. We're no stranger to intense energies. You know, we seem to embody them. We seem to embrace them. We seem to navigate them. It's almost like part of our spiritual lineage to work with intense energies. If you're not a fire sign, and particularly if you're not a Leo, this time may feel a little combative. It may feel a little adversarial. And one of the things you have to know is we're going through a pandemic during the Lionsgate. So everybody's already on edge. Have you noticed? I mean, people are working from their primal brain right now. A lot of their fears and anxieties have been deeply activated, even if they're not fully conscious of it, right? So a lot of people are operating from something of a compromised sense of connection and awareness. People's central nervous systems are really under siege, you might say. I mean, we're almost in a fight or flight kind of zone as a species right now. So just keep in mind that if this time has seemed extra potent, extra intense, it's probably because of the fact that we are talking about a Lionsgate during a pandemic, which I haven't been through before, and you probably haven't been through before either. So here we are, and I actually think that these energies can be activated for collective healing, and that's one of the intentions I'm going to hold tonight. If you've been working with me for a while, and I'm going to say this to you as I smudge, you know that I really firmly believe that all magic is about intention. Have I lost my fire source? I may have to use an actual match. All magic is about intention. I need to fill my lighter. And so it's really important before you begin any ceremony, any activation, which is what we're doing tonight, of energy, any ritual of any kind, it's important to come into deep awareness of what your intention is for this moment and this work. And so what we are activating tonight is Sirian star energy. The star Sirius is 2 times the size of our sun and 26 times brighter. Take a moment to really think about what that means. 2 times the size of our sun. Our sun is not a small planet. And 26 times brighter, that's a lot of illumination right now. It's a lot of energy that's flowing through our universe. So roll your shoulders back, call your energy into present time. For the next half hour or so, just let yourself be fully in this experience, in this moment. You know, we're not going to have another Lionsgate in 2020. This is our time. And after tonight, you'll still have 4 or 5 days, depending on when you're watching this, to work these energies. And it is work. It is work to experience an activation. What happens during an activation of energy is that you download new light codes, which are sort of like new programs for your operating system, right? Your DNA gets an upgrade if it's needed. So this is a time when you can actually, at least in my practice and in my belief system, you can actually reprogram your DNA. So this is about taking an honest look at your health and your well-being, and maybe where you need to make some shifts or changes, maybe where you're willing to let the universe make some shifts and changes on your behalf. Bring me into better alignment with physical health, bring me into better alignment with spiritual health, bring me better into alignment with peace and forgiveness and compassion, which are, if you think about that, those are really high Sirian energies: compassion, peace, love, connection, because again, we're talking ultimately about Christ consciousness, which is primarily associated with the star Sirius. Okay, so when the star reaches its height in the sky and that perfect alignment with the Earth, that's when the Orion's belt actually comes into perfect alignment with the pyramid at Giza. And so even ancient Egyptians understood this cosmology and saw that activation and that overlay, that alignment. And so, like I said, this isn't a new tradition. We are participating in what is really an ancient and quite powerful lineage instead of traditions tonight. So welcome in. I'm really happy that you're here. So I'm going to show you the tools that we are working with. Over here on my altar, I have a grid that you can see here. I would turn it up to show you, but I've already set up my grid and we're going to activate it together during the ceremony. So that is what you received if you got your set of tools for tonight's ceremony. You also got your Lion's Gate candle, which I have off to the side here. And the Lion's Gate candle, we did in this beautiful blue color. This is actually considered to be the color of Sirius. It's a between a sort of a ocean blue and an indigo blue is the color of the star Sirius. And we use that as the background for our lion artwork. I think Gabriel did such a beautiful job as always. And then the Lion's Gate perfume this year is called Purr. Last year I did Roar. I think I was roaring last year. This year I'm purring a little bit. I'm feeling this year has been a softening for me a little bit. Even though we're going through such an intense time on the planet, I personally have experienced a deeper level of softness. So I'm trying to embody that and bring that through even to the perfume. So this is frankincense, dragon's blood, and champaka. And I have to tell you, it's one of my favorite perfumes of the year. And I do believe some of the kits are still available if you'd like one after our ceremony tonight, so you're welcome to get that. So I'm going to anoint it with the perfume just to kind of get us started. A little bit at my wrist for what I do, a little bit at my third eye for what I know, a little bit at my ankles. You always got to get in there and get your ankles too. Your ankles, when you anoint your ankles, your wrists, and your third eye, you basically make something of a triangle, right? And so it activates your own physical energy lines, what we call the key lines or the chi lines or the meridian lines in the body. So that's why we anoint. I'm actually going to take just a little bit of it too and touch it to the carnelian in the center of my Sirian activation pendant. And this is a pendant that you can continue to wear all the way through the year. You know, if you really enjoy this activation and calling in these new energies and connecting with them, then every time you wear this pendant, you're activating those energies again. So I think it's a great practice to have, even if it's not this pendant this time, if there's another piece of jewelry that you want to wear with intention while we work together today, then maybe go and grab that, because then every time you wear that jewelry, it also has this activation energy aligned to it, and it'll just be like a reminder, you know, a touch point, a talisman to bring you back into this place of power. I've chosen to wear colors of the fire, right, of the lion tonight too. So sometimes even just, you know, being thoughtful about the colors that you're surrounding yourself with, or adorning yourself with, or dressing in, also sort of brings in added layers of energy too. Everything is energy. Color is energy. Scent is energy. So just taking a nice deep breath there, rolling your shoulders back. And I'm going to begin by opening our circle. As we are definitely raising some energy tonight. So welcome in. I'm so happy that you're able to join me and participate in, like I said, a modern iteration on a very ancient ceremony that connects us to the energy of a star that's been guiding, spiritual people, wayseers of all kinds since we have written record, really. It connects us across so many different traditions too, which is part of what I love. Okay, so I want to call in the guides and the guardians of the four directions. Again, just inviting you to roll your shoulders back, relax. Even though there's a lot of energy flowing tonight and this activation will raise even more of it, this is a perfect time just to remind yourself nowhere else to be, nothing else to do. This moment is the most important moment. Just fully presencing yourself. Starting to become aware of your body, noticing your hips and your connection to the floor. Resting into that connection, letting the floor hold you, letting the floor stabilize you. You're not holding yourself up, you're allowing this earth to come underneath you and support you. It's very grounding to remember that you are held spiritually, physically, emotionally, right? You are constantly held, surrounded, nurtured by spirit guides and ancestors, ascended masters. There's a whole spirit team, as I like to call them, that's constantly with you. Tonight's a great night just to remind yourself of all of those realities, because it's easy to start to feel alone. And one of the gifts, I think, of these activations is the reminder that we're never alone. And in fact, part of what tonight's about too, and I want you to call some of this energy in, is about reconnecting with that inner fire, with your inner strength, with a little bit of that toughness in you, and allowing yourself, think about what the lion represents, right? It's strength and power and courage and commitment and loyalty and endurance, right? It's raw power tonight. And so what sensations come through your mind, body, and spirit when you think about connecting to raw power? And how are you going to bring this energy in, not just to your life, but how are you going to bring it into your relationship if you have a partner? Or how are you going to bring it into your parenting relationship if you have children? Or how are you going to bring it into your friendships or into your teaching if you're a teacher or a leader of a community? How can you become now, after tonight, a conduit for this energy? Because I do think this energy is really what the planet needs right now. People are nervous and afraid because they feel like they don't have control over anything. They're sort of like subject to whatever's happening every day. And the reality is you have a lot of power. And this universe is supporting you. And part of the process of activating this energy tonight is really starting to rest back into faith. It's really, really true. If that could be my primary message to you on this beautiful weekend, it's just rest back into faith, rest in your power. If you think about how a lion, do you ever watch the videos like on YouTube of lions? I don't know. I do. You really have to, lions don't just get up and start running, right? They're like, when a lion finally gets up, because it's, going for food or because it's angry and gonna, get into a fight or a battle, it's so slowly kind of, right? The big paws, right? And they can be agile and fast, but they're also kind of like, they're very measured in their steps. They're measured in their response. If you anger a lion or a Leo, you probably had to work to do it, right? And so I think it's but you can tell that lions are not desperate. They're not trying to look fearsome and powerful. They just are. And so I want you to remember that you don't have to try to be anything other than who you are and what you are. But the most important thing you can do right now, and I think during this time in our planet's evolution, is try to rest a little bit more in that power. You are gifted, you're strong, you're courageous, you've been through so much already. I know a lot of you in the community, and if you're new and I don't know you yet, I bet you also have been through some massive challenges, and you have persevered, right? You have overcome every challenge that's come your way, or you wouldn't be here. So I want you to rise up a little bit tonight in that warrior, courageous, powerful Leo strength. And I want you to begin to feel that again coming up from the center of the earth through into your body, out the top of your head, connecting you to the higher realms, and start to feel the reality that you are part of this system of energy. That universal life force energy is flowing through you all the time. And all we're doing tonight is acknowledging it, harnessing it, and bringing it into present time. So here we go. So I first want to begin by welcoming in the guides and the guardians of the Eastern Gateway tonight. Direction of East, element of air. We call in the air guides tonight to help us shift our perspective, wouldn't you say? Like it's time to look at this year, this pandemic, your experience, your life. It's time to look at your health. It's time to look at your relationships. It's time to look at everything through a new perspective. And tonight is all about hope, optimism, courage, and power. Not trying to be something you're not, just completely allowing things to unfold. And so we call upon the guardians of air tonight to just create that spaciousness and that flow, and to help us shift our internal compass, to help us shift our perspective so that we can begin to see our lives as full of this power, courage, opportunity, passion. And we welcome in the guides and the guardians of the East. And then to the guides and the guardians of the South, element of fire, we are in your zone tonight. Tonight's all about the element of fire, right? We are in the Leo season. That's why it's called the Lion's Gate, because the whole thing unfolds after the astrological wheel turns toward Leo, and it resolves, this gateway resolves before we turn to Virgo, right? So that's the Lion's Gate. So we're so grateful to welcome in the guides and the guardians of the South tonight as we open the Lion's Gate and activate this energy stream. To the guides and the guardians of the West, the Water Gateway, tonight we are open to a new level of emotional healing and connection. We are so ready to shed emotions that are not serving us and call in new emotions, new energy streams, welcoming in emotional healing and purification and renewal on all levels tonight. I don't know about you, but I'm ready for that. This is a cosmic DNA upgrade, so we're ready for all of that new emotional energy and awareness. We welcome in the guides and the guardians of the West. And then to the guides and the guardians of the North, thank you for grounding us, connecting us, standing guard for us, keeping us safe and protected as we move through our lives, as we move through this portal of energy, anchoring us, tethering us. We welcome in the guides and the guardians of the North with gratitude. And just a nice deep breath there. Already feeling like you're dropping in a little bit now, right? So good. I love me a good activation, I will tell you. Okay, so I'm going to switch my focus to my altar now. I'm going to light another match for us so I can get our candle going. I've already lit this candle twice, I will tell you. I lit it the night that the Lion's Gate opened, and I lit it about 2 or 3 days ago, just because I've been feeling the energy kind of moving through, and every time I felt it, I've just kind of lit the candle for just a few minutes, said a brief prayer, set an intention, and then extinguished the candle. And you're always welcome to do that with your tools too. So tonight, as we light our candle, I want you to focus in on your intention now. So what is it that you want to move with this cosmic gateway? What energy are you calling in? What energies are you releasing? Remember that we are now in a waning moon phase, which means it's a good time for releasing some energies. And portals, gateways like this are always ebb and flow, right? We can send and receive energy through them. So is there something tonight that's heavy on your heart that you really would like to release? And send through that gateway, knowing that on August 12th, when this gateway closes, that energy, you're letting it be. You're not going to call it back in. And maybe you're ready to let go of, some grief. Yeah, I've had some grief. Missed opportunities because of the pandemic. I've lost a couple of friends. I'm missing my team because we're all scattered now. Some of our team SG is working at the location, and a lot of us are working remotely. But But then, I have to tell you too, I'm also celebrating some of the gifts of this time. I've had more time with my kids. I've really enjoyed that time. And they've been happier and peaceful than almost ever before. So that's been a beautiful gift of this time too. And I want to celebrate that. And so what is your intention? What do you want to call in through this gateway? Is there an energy stream that you want to connect to? Is there physical healing that you wish to manifest? That's another way of thinking about it. And so just take a moment to set that intention and set that space of what are you releasing and what are you calling in through this doorway tonight. And you can keep it nice and general. You can just call in perfect health. And give the spirit guides permission to then take that intention and align it for you in whatever way makes the most sense. Whatever you need for perfect health, right? Perfect peace. Whatever you need for perfect peace. And I'm really serious. You know what? Make a good wish here. Upon a star. If you're gonna make a wish upon a star, like a wish upon Sirius is pretty good. You know what I mean? It's my birthday this weekend, so I feel like I'm making a lot of cosmic wishes during the Lion's Gate. I'll tell you, it's a weird weekend to have a birthday. Once I learned about the Lion's Gate, I was like, now it all makes sense. Why this is such an intense time to have a birthday. But remember that 8 is the number of infinite potential, right? If you're an 8 life path, if your birth date adds up to 8, mine does not. I'm a 110 life path. But if you're an 8, that means you have a lifetime of infinite potential. And if your birthday's in August, then that sort of confers upon you the same thing, right? You're attached to already this energy of infinite strength and potential. So enjoy that too. So do you feel connected to your intention for tonight? What you're releasing, what you're calling in? Okay. Sounds good to me. Okay, so let's turn our attention to our grid. I'm going to bring my candle over here so I don't interrupt your view. So in the center of my pyramid is a quartz pyramid, or in the center of my grid is a quartz pyramid. I placed that. Now the symbol that's over the lion on your grid, and again the same symbol that's on your necklace, is actually the symbol of Sirius. That is the star Sirius symbol. So I laid my grid out along those Sirian lines. You don't have to. I'd love for you to take some creative liberty here and kind of lay out the stones in a formation that resonates with you. But you have 2 pieces of carnelian, which is for strength, power, courage, stamina. You have 2 pieces of snowflake obsidian, which is a stone of integration, which ultimately through a stargate, that's what we're doing, right? We're activating all these energies and then we're integrating them, bringing them in. You have 2 pieces over here of turritella agate. And one of the reasons I love working with this stone is this is actually little fossilized snail shells, but millions of years old. And so this connects you with the wisdom of the planet, the wisdom of your ancestors, and for me, with both the spiritual and physical lineage that leads back to Egypt, I think it really sort of is also about connecting into our ancient ancestors who started this practice of acknowledging this gateway. Then you have 4 pieces of rainbow hematite, which is about alignment and grounding. You have 4 pieces of quartz, of course. And then you have 2 beautiful pieces of rutilated quartz. This is about moving through transformation with grace. The last thing in your grid, you have 4 little tiny pieces of vanadinite, which are these little red crystals that look like this. That's vanadinite. And that comes from Morocco, and that is the stone of pushing through obstacles and not procrastinating. No procrastinating in magic. Okay. If you'd like to activate this grid, the way I do it, you'll need a double terminated quartz crystal. You can also use your finger, and if you're not activating a grid, then I'm going to hold space for you with my grid. So just kind of move along with me, and I will be activating my grid for you if you don't have a grid. So let's begin. Move a little And so for me, that's back here, since we always in our circles move from east to north. And so I'm going to begin here activating the energies of quartz in this pyramid for magnification. And then you move out to the outermost quartz point and back in. So I'm activating energies of quartz here again for programming and magnification and back to quartz. Out to the rainbow hematite for alignment and grounding and back to quartz. Out to the vanadinite to help us overcome obstacles using this energy flow and back to quartz. And then to the snowflake obsidian for integration and back to quartz. Out to rutilated quartz, which again is for moving through transformation with grace and back to quartz. Out to quartz for magnification and programming and back to quartz. Out to rainbow hematite for alignment and grounding and back to quartz. Out to vanadinite for overcoming obstacles and back to quartz. Out to carnelian for energy, stamina, courage, and strength and back to quartz. Out to rutilated quartz for transformation through change with grace and back to quartz. Out to quartz for programming and magnification and back to quartz. Out to rainbow hematite for alignment and grounding and back to quartz. Out to vanadinite to help us overcome obstacles and back to quartz. Out to mahogany obsidian and back to quartz. Then we go out to teratella agate for ancient wisdom and back to quartz. Out to quartz for programming and magnification and back to quartz. Out to rainbow hematite for alignment and grounding, back to quartz. Out to vanadinite to overcome obstacles and back to quartz. Out to carnelian for power, strength, and courage and back to quartz. Out to teratella agate for ancient wisdom and back to quartz. And then finally back to that first quartz point we went to, quartz for magnification and programming and back to quartz. And with that, we have activated our grid. And now I want you to hold your double terminated quartz point over the grid. And I want you to visualize a beam of light extending from that central pyramid up through your quartz point or your wand, out through the other end of your wand, and then directly up to that star Sirius, which is in perfect alignment with the earth at this time. And so, Great Spirit, God, Goddess, Creator, however you see the source of power in this universe, we ask that you bless us. We ask that at this highest peak of the Lion's Gate energy, that you allow this energy to flow into our lives, to recode our DNA where needed, to align us with perfect health, to bring us into alignment with perfect peace, joy, abundance of all forms, and that you bring these energies into our lives in ways that will bless us, and in turn help us to bless others. We give thanks for energies of alignment and activation that are already on their way. And together we say, Amen, Aho. And so it is. Woo! Amen, Aho, and so it is. That feels good, doesn't it? And so now I'm going to share this with you. So I am beaming this energy from my heart space, my solar plexus, just visualizing. Those are really the two chakras, the heart and the solar plexus, that get activated during the Lion's Gate for power and for love. Because Christ consciousness, remember, that is really the source of the power of the star Sirius, and that alignment is really about the deepest form of unconditional love. And so I send this to you tonight. May you receive it. May you feel it. May the energy of it move through your life in powerful ways during this window of activation and always, and certainly through the rest of this year. Amen, Aho, and so it is. Amen, Aho, and so it is. And so what I recommend is leaving this grid intact now, at least through the 12th of August. And then when you're ready, but only when you're ready, and I don't want you to feel rushed. I mean, certainly you can leave the grid up as long as you feel connected to the energy of it. You don't ever have to take grids down. But when you decide to take it down, you're going to go counterclockwise exactly the way I did this tonight, but just going the other way. So you'll start again. We went from east all the way around to north. Then you'll start in the north and go counterclockwise, and you'll end there. So we activate it clockwise, we deactivate it counterclockwise. And it's as easy as that. Okay, so I want you to bring your attention back now to your intention for tonight. Bringing your attention, your mindfulness back to that moment. Whether it was healing for you, or love, or peace, or just balance, or maybe steadiness is your intention. Maybe healing for the collective. Healing that serves the highest good of the collective is your intention. I do think it's helpful for us to take a moment while the circle is still open to hold space for the wellness of humanity at this time. And to send healing energy tonight to anyone who's able, willing to receive it. And just setting the intention that that energy goes exactly where it's needed. And that those who need it will receive it in perfect time and in a good way. And just kind of beam that from your heart space out to the world tonight. I often think when we're doing these ceremonies, we're so blessed. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people who don't have ceremony, don't have community, don't understand what a lion's gate is, and really could use that wisdom, really could use that little spark underneath them to light their way. So one of the things I always like to ask, if you're willing, is once you learn these traditions, it'd be great to share them with people in your life who you think would really benefit from feeling a deeper connection, and not just to magic at this time, like I said, but knowing that our ancient ancestors for thousands of years have been acknowledging this really cool alignment that happens every year at this time. And I want to thank you for being here tonight. Okay. With that, we will release the guides and guardians tonight who helped us to hold steady space during our ceremony. We started by calling in the guides and guardians of the East, so of course we begin in the North. And so, guides and guardians of the North, we give thanks for your presence, patience, and power tonight. Thank you for protecting us as always, helping us to stay stable and steady through difficult and challenging times. We thank you for the gifts that you bring and release you with gratitude. And to the guides and the guardians of the West, we thank you for opening us to a new level of emotional awareness, bringing in deep emotional healing and cleansing and purification tonight. We release you with gratitude. To the guides and the guardians of the South, thank you for stamina, courage, strength. We're grateful for your gifts of fire, the ability to shed skin and let go of things that aren't serving us anymore. And we release the guides and the guardians of the South with gratitude. And to the guides and the guardians of the East, we thank you for your presence and your spaciousness tonight, helping us to think differently, helping to shape our thoughts and our intentions, which we know guide and ultimately influence our actions and our manifestations. Everything begins as a thought. And so thank you to the guides of the East tonight, the guardians of that gateway, for helping us to shift our thinking and our perspective tonight. And we release you with gratitude as well. And so with that, I'm going to read the invocation on the back of the candle to you before I extinguish it. It says, as I light this candle, I open my heart and mind to receive divine guidance and inspiration. I have, in this moment in time, the support of a friendly universe to rapidly ascend beyond what I thought was possible and rise into the fullness of the great purpose I am here to fulfill. Amen, Aho. And so it is. And like I said, anytime, if you have those tools, anytime you feel like you're losing contact with this moment, this energy stream, this sense of power that hopefully you cultivated a little bit of tonight with me, that's a candle that you can burn to get right back to that energy and feel that presence and power and passion again. So thank you so much for being here, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this year's Lionsgate ceremony. It's just a quick activation of the energies and an acknowledgement that we are in this alignment. Stay present, stay in your power, rest in your power. Remember to be like the lion who has nothing to prove. And so every movement you make is strategic, it's strong, it's balanced, right? And so when you move from that place, all of your manifestations, everything that you create, I think ultimately will be an even more powerful blessing in your life. So I enjoy this every year with you. Thank you once again for being here for this year's Lionsgate. It's a special one because of the moment that we're in. And I do think there's the potential for this period to be a source of deep healing for our planet. I really do. May it be so. Have a beautiful rest of your weekend and a beautiful rest of this Lionsgate period. Remember that the Lionsgate will close on August 12th. It might be nice for you to just light your candle, leave your grid up, and light your candle every night until the gate closes. I'll be lighting my candle with you. And I'll see you soon, everybody. Take good care.